Hey, hi everyone. Once again, welcome back to my channel, MGS IT Service. In today's session, we'll be understanding how to work with the arrays because in the last class or in the last video, we have seen basically how to work with arrays and collections. Like just we have understand the difference between arrays and collections, and then we understood what exactly the meaning of collection and the collection framework. And then we have seen the hierarchy of the collection framework, like what are the different categories, right? We have the list, set, queue, right? And what are the implementation classes we had, fine? So in that, I've just taken one category that is the list. In that list, we are going to discuss about array list. So I'll be just recalling all the points what we have been covered so far for the 2 minutes so that we can start working with the practical things, guys. See, as we know that the array list basically is the implementation class of a list interface where we can store the group of individual objects because collection is basically designed to store only objects, right? Now, in this one, basically we can allow the duplicates because the list entire category allows the duplicate to store, fine? So whenever we have the requirement to store the group of objects where duplicates are allowed, then basically you can choose the list category, fine? Next one point is, if you see that, as I said earlier also, in case of collections, each and every implementation classes internally follow some data structure. So even though ArrayList is an implementation class, so it follows some data structure that is a resizable array. Now, in case of ArrayList, insertion order is preserved, means the order what we are inserting, the same order it will get the output here. Okay. Next one is heterogeneous objects are allowed. So that means we can store the different type of objects. So that means you can store the integer, you can store the string, you can store uh, float, you can store the double, or if you're taking the objects like employee, you can store student. So multiple objects you can store. Fine. Next one is null insertion is possible. So that means here in case of arrays case, we can store the null value here. And the last point is in case of ArrayList, whatever the methods which are defined here, so by default are non-synchronous. Okay, so that means multiple threads can be accessed at a time here, right? So these are the major key points, guys, we have to remember when you're working with the ArrayList there. Fine. I hope it's clear. You can pause this video. Please note down all these points, okay, which is very important for you. Fine. Okay, now let's see basically what are the methods which is defined okay in the array list because array list is a class. So instead of keeping all this method guys, I just refer for you to go to the API document so that it is easy for you to refer it here. So for the time being here, I just already open guys. In the description, I'll just give the link for you. Please just click it so that it can be open for you, right? Now, if you see that ArrayList is a class here which extend abstract list and implements. Okay, now if you just look it carefully now, this class has implements list interface, random access, clonable, and the serializable. So all the things we'll be understanding slowly, one after the random access, clonable, and serializable there. Fine. So for the time being here, as I said, whatever the methods which is defined in the list, all this method has been provided implementation there. Okay, now just scroll down, guys. Now. So this is nothing but constructor summary. In the last video, we just understood about this one. Now, let's go for method summary now. So we had the following methods, guys. We had the add method, which take one argument. There is a generic type where we can store any type of object here. Now, suppose that if you want to add the element based on the index, guys, we can take the help of this method. Suppose if you want to add the another list, you can go for add all. Now, if you want to add a list based on the index, you can go for add all, which take two arguments. If you want to clear the methods, means elements which is defined in the list or array list, we can take the help of clear method. If you want to copy, you can use clone. If you want to cross check here whether this specific object is available in the list or not. Fine, which return true or false. If it is available, return true. If not, false here. Like this, you can find so many methods. Like for each, we'll see that when we are talking about JDK 1.8 features, right? Next one, we have get. If you want to get the element based on index. If you want to find the index of the particular object, we can take the help of index of method. Now, if you want to cross check whether list is empty or not, we can take the help of is empty. Now, this is very important. Like we have the cursors, which is helping us to iterate the elements over on the collections. So we have enumeration, we have iterator, we have list iterator. Three cursors are available, right? So we'll see slowly one after the another. We have iterator, we have the list iterator, guys. Enumeration basically will work for legacy classes. We'll see when we are talking about vector there. Okay. Remove method we have. Okay, remove based on index, based on object. Remove all we have. Remove if this is JDK 1.8 features which is added here. Fine. Replace all, retain all, set which is used for updating, to find the size, to sort here, comparator. I'll be discussing how to customize the ordering here. Okay, we'll see that also. Next is sublist here, to array. So these are all these methods, guys. You can just go through all the things. We'll try to understand here how to work with this practical scheme. Fine. So let's see how we can do the coding, guys. Let's go back to the Eclipse. Yeah. Now let's do one thing. Let's try to store the few elements into the list, and then we'll try to use all these methods which is available. So first method we are going to use add. The first thing I'm going to create a list, guys. List. Let's say. Okay. So let me control shift O. So automatically it's going to import, guys. Okay. Now here I'm going to add the elements here. How we can add the elements now? By using a method called as add here. So you can pass here. If you just look it carefully now. Now add object. So basically what happens now when I talk about an object is a parent class. And parent class reference can hold any child class object. So you can pass any child class object. Okay, you can pass 10. You can list dot add. You can pass 20. You can pass 30. Right? Pass 40 here. Okay, so I'm just using the first method. That is what my add method. So we have just added here. Now what I told you guys now basically here, whenever we add it here, it is going to add to the last. Okay, so first I'll be showing here. So this list is empty, guys. Okay, let me show you. Let me run this application. Now you can see, guys, now we got the empty here, right? Now how we can add it now? So if you want to add it here now, basically, so it is going to add to the last here. Okay, so this is your empty. It is going to add to the last here. Okay, next one here, we are going to add the another element. Let's say 10, 20. Next one, I'm going to add here 10, 20, 30. So whenever we add here, it is going to add to the last here. Like this, it's a behavior. Okay, right? So what is your expectation now? Probably. So the expectation is insertion order is preserved, right? Let's run this application. So save it and run it here. Is it working, guys, now? Yes, so same thing. Oh, sorry. I think so we have added 40 also. Sorry, I by mistake. Sorry, yeah, my mistake here. So it's 40 here. Yes, it's working here because insertion order is preserved here, right? Okay, now, so let's move to the next one here. Now, if you want to know the size here, guys, how we can know the size one? So we can use a method called as size here, which going to return the size of list here. So this is the size of the list here. So size of the list means number of elements which is defined here. So what are the elements here? 4. So how many elements? 4. So probably we'll get it 4 here. I hope it's clear now. Okay, now once we get the size here, now let's do one thing. Let's use another couple of methods. Let's go for another method, guys. We have the add method which take index, right? If we just go for the API here, we add based on the index here. So what exactly it does, ma? It is going to insert the specific element at the specified position in the list. Okay, now? Now let's do one thing. We had already this element here. Let me take the list now. So we have the list. So index start from where? 0. So 0, 1, 2, and 3 here. Now what I want here, guys, I want to add here another element that is 25 in between 1 and 2 here. Okay, now. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me add here at 2 index. So list dot add. So what method I'm going to use? Second method. So what is the index here? 2. Which element you want to add here? 25. Now what happens, guys, now in this case, whenever we adding here at this specified index, because in this index we have already element, right? Yes or not? See, one thing you need to understand here, because in the last session also I have discussed, in case of ArrayList here, whenever we create the ArrayList, initial capacity how much? 10. So here, what is the meaning of 10 initial capacity here? So that means we can store the 10 elements at a time. That's the meaning, right? So let's go back to the API document. Let's cross check here. Are we correct or not? So what we have learned, guys, initial capacity is 10. Am I right? So what is the meaning of this one here? So initial capacity is 10. Initial capacity is what? 10 here. So that means we can store the 10 elements at a time here. We can store 10 elements at a time here. Am I right? Okay. So as of now, how many elements we have stored? 4 elements, right? So what happens now here, whenever you're trying to store at the specific index, remaining elements has been shifted or not? So 40 can be shift here right side at fourth index position. And this second index position element can be shifted to the third index. And here we get what? 25 here. Yes or no? So what is the expectation? Let's see, we are correct or wrong. So expectation is 10, 20, let's see 25, 30, comma 40. So are we correct or wrong, guys? Let's see. Yes, 10, 20, 25, 30, and 40. So perfectly is working. So whenever you have the requirement to store the element at specific index, so remaining elements can be shifted towards on the right hand side here. So this is done internally. So we are not bothering here what is happening, but we need to understand here how exactly it's working here. Fine. So I hope it's clear up to here now. So this is what next is what we had add all. So we'll see that also. Fine. Let's cross check whether a specific element is available or not. If it is available, it is going to return the true, otherwise return false. So let's see, guys, now how we can cross check that. Let's say, for example, I want to search this specific element as 25, which have been added just now. Okay, how we can cross check, guys, now. So let's see that if I'm just writing here list dot contains the search element. Okay, so if it is available here, if it is available here, I just want to get the index and I want to get the element also. Let's go back and cross check whether we have any index. Yes. So we can get an index of method also by passing the elements and which return the index position. So let's see, guys. I want to print the index also. How we can guess list index of search element, and I got the index also. Let's do one thing. Let's print the index also, guys. Or we can say that like this, we can print search element has found at index position. So let's see, are we correct or not, guys? Okay. Now, what exactly are we doing, guys? Now, I was just cross-checking here. So whether this element is defined in this list or not. If it is true, I'm just getting that search element. So what's the index here, guys? Now, let's check out here now. What's the index here? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what is the index here? 2 index. So that means the 25 element has been found at 2 index position. Suppose if the element is not there, so what we can print, guys, now? We can print here element has not found here. So I'll do one thing. I'll just print in error in a red color, so that can be better. Okay, let's figure out, guys, now are we correct or not? Let's see here. So what you're finding here, 25 element has been found at index position 2. So perfectly is working here. Let's say, for example, we have 35. So now you tell me, guys, list dot contain 35. So whether the 35 is available in this list now? No. So we can get here the element has not found here. So 35 element has not found here. So perfectly is working here. So I've just covered two methods here now. For the first method is contains, which is going to cross check whether the specific element is there or not. If yes, we are getting the particular index here. I hope it's clear now, right? Okay, so like this, we can use a couple of methods. We can also take the help of remove. Okay, we can also use the remove. So lastly, we'll see so that we can able to remove it, guys. Okay, now, right? So what is the next one here? Let's see the set method. Now, if you just look at here, replace the element at the specified position in the list with a specified element. So if you just want to update here, so as of now, we had a list now. Let's take a list. Okay, so index start from here. I'm just writing 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. Okay, so we had the list of elements here. We had the list of elements. Now, what I want here, guys, now I just want to update here. I just want to update here. Let's do one thing. Let's update the 30 with the 35 here. Okay, let's update with 30 with the 35. List dot set the index 3. I just want to update as 35. Let's see, are we correct or wrong? So is it going to work? Okay, so 35 is not found here. Okay, so actually the random is working here. Probably, if you see that, it was working here, right? So let's say 25 here. Now it will be work perfectly. You can see, guys, 25 element has been found here, and the list is updated here. Can you see, guys? The list is updated here. So earlier is 30, now it's become 35. Earlier is 30, now it's became 35. So perfectly is working. Earlier is also working because first is printing these elements, then probably, okay. First is getting the list, then he's going to update here. So that is randomly is working. So we're not bothering about that. Fine. So, so if you want to update, guys, the specific element based on the index, we can just take the help of what set method here. Let's go back now. So like this, we can use a couple of method. Now, even though if you want to get a sublist here, if you want to get a sublist here, we can take the help of from index to index with the help of a method called as sublist. So if you want to get a portion of the list here, let's say for example, we want to get here 25 and 35 elements because we have been updated 10, 20, 25, 35, 40. Okay? So we want the sublist, guys. How we can get the sublist? List dot sublist from index to index here. Okay? So R equal return is empty. So let's do one thing. Let's from starting index is 2 and third one. Let's see third is included or not. Let's see. Okay? Sublist. Okay? Are we getting sublist? Alt Shift O. So automatically is going to import here. So let's execute here now. Now, if you see, guys, we're given the 2, 3 here, 0, 2, sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. So just write the index position. So whether it is include or exclude, guys, now 3, 4. So what is the index I've given, guys, now 2, 3. So whether the 3 is included, no. So we always give n plus 1. So we give 4, we can get the sublist here. Perfectly is working. So always give what? Always give what? N plus 1. Always give what? N plus 1. So that we can get the portion of the set with the last element. Means whatever the element which you want to include here. Okay, na? So like this, you can use the couple of methods, right? You can use a couple of method, guys. Next, go for, okay, anything else is remaining? Okay. So all these methods can be used, guys. And I request for you because I just don't want to make the long video for this one. Okay. And if you want more things like especially the cursors, if you want, I'll bring the video separately for the cursors like enumeration, iterator, list iterator, and what's the difference between them here and how we can work with that. So basically we can iterate here with the help of different things by using for loop, for each loop, iterator, list iterator, and enumeration. Okay, so I'll be making the separate video for all these things so that you'll be understanding how we can work with that here. Fine. So I hope you understood what are the things, methods, how we can use these methods in the list here. Fine. So if you just understood here, I request for you, please like and subscribe the channel, and please share this video for all of them here. Okay. And second thing is, if you're not understanding this one, please again watch this video so that you can understand how we can work it. Fine. Okay. So thank you for watching this video. So we'll catch up in another session. Fine. Till there, take care and bye.